get into a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got these two past,
Uh-huh.
women from Love is Blind. Neither one of them got married on the show.
Right.
And I would say the both of us probably had some very experiences when it came to the outcomes. So I want to talk about a bit about your background when it came to just your perspective on marriage and dating and like what led you to want to go on Love is Blind in the first place.
Yeah. So my dating history, I feel like it was a little questionable. Like there was a period of time where I feel like I just didn't really like know my worth. And so I was in a lot of like relationships that just weren't beneficial for me. Situationships is probably the term.
Yeah.
But I think as I grew up, like, getting into my 30s, I was like, I cannot, if I want to be married one day, I have to like start taking dating seriously,
Yeah.
And so, I think that's kind of what led me towards the path of like, okay, I want to be someone who only gets into relationships that I know are headed towards where I want to be, right? So, when Love is Blind reached out, I think I was 30 at the time, and they like made it seem like you're gonna meet all these men who are marriage minded. They're also on the path of like wanting to find their forever person too. So I was like, oh, this is like perfect, because you meet somebody out in the real world, like you don't know if that's like the mindset that they have. Do I want to be married? If they even want a serious relationship or anything like that. So I was like, why not do it? And that's how I ended up on there.
I kind of agree with you on that point of, I probably went on there thinking like at least everyone's here with the same idea in mind. I went on there a little skeptical, I'll be honest. When I decided to go, I was like, okay, I don't believe in this. I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone here knows that marriage is the end goal.
Right.
So maybe that will create a more favorable outcome for a lot of us.
Oh my gosh, I love that you had that mindset. I had the opposite. I was like, first off, I didn't go looking for this. I was like, they reached out to me. Like, this has to be, like, I'm like, this has to be a sign. Like, I'm probably going to meet my husband here. So I went in there just totally thinking everybody had the intention to be married, and it's like you learn, you live and you learn. But it's kind of funny.
So when you went into the show, had you been single for quite some time?
Yeah, I think I had been in like a few little relationships that weren't like super serious, but like a real committed relationship, it had been a couple years.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So were you a Christian when you went on Love is Blind? And I guess what was your mindset as far as being a believer? If going on the show, did you have this like, I want a man of God outlook, or were you just like kind of open to, exploring other options and different things?
Yeah. So when I went on Love is Blind, I was a Christian, and I think that was what made my experience a little more unique, because I feel like it lessened my options a lot of the time. Like I would date guys and they'd be like, I mean, I haven't been to church in like whatever long, but like I still am a Christian. I'm like, well, you're going to hate me because I'm in church every Sunday and I'm leading worship and I'm doing youth ministry. I'm going to annoy you, basically. Like, you're not going to love me. Like, there were guys in the pods that were like going back to the lounge like, all she talks about is church. But it's like, really, I was only doing that to the guys that I knew we didn't even have the foundation set, so we couldn't even move forward on all the other things. Yeah. So definitely was a Christian. I think when we went through the process of like talking to the producers and casting, I made it very clear, like, this is who I am. These are my standards. This is what I'm looking for. And they're like, great. Like, we put people in there that you're going to match with. Right. And so I really believed in the process that I was possibly going to find somebody who had the same values as me and all the things. So, yeah.
So do you feel like, because I feel like that's something a lot of Christian women are encountering and dating today, is they will, even on Christian dating sites, I've heard. Now, I haven't been on them myself, but I've heard that you'll go on these, you go to Christian events and different things, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to find a man that's like-minded. But a lot of people are more like, I'm a Christian, but some aren't maybe living their lives a certain way, or their life isn't centered on God. And I don't want to, I'm not condemning or anything. I'm just saying that, do you find that it's more of a label for people to say I'm a Christian versus finding men who are committed to living a life that honors God, is that what makes the pool so small for a lot of the Christian women?
Yeah, I do think it's that. I also think, I don't think people have an understanding of what it actually means to be a Christian. I think it has been a label. It's been like, oh, my family grew up in the church, or my family is this, but I don't think people realize that this is a way of living. Like, you're actually like following after Christ, like his way of life, and following the way he tells us to live, like things like that. And so I think it's become more of like this is what I believe in, but I don't really like follow what it says type of thing. And so I think that can make dating really hard. And I'll say, even for myself, I had times when I would date guys who were just like, yeah, I'm Christian, but like we were living and striving after two totally different things, and it just didn't work. But I can see how women would struggle with that, because it is hard to just go out and find somebody who's like, I'm a Christian, but I also like live my life according to this. And so it can be rough.
Yeah, I would assume so. And I think so, because we've talked about this. My experience was very different.
Yes.
Like, I was not living a life surrendered to God when I went on Love is Blind. I was a label Christian. And so that's why I'm being clear. I'm not condemning. I know that the experiences are different depending on truly what you're seeking after when it comes to a partner in marriage. And, at the time I was more of a label Christian, where I was lukewarm. I was a Christian, but I was kind of dabbling in other religious practices. I was doing different things. And so my judgment wasn't truly, and my discernment when it came to picking someone when I went wasn't centered on, okay, does this person have a relationship with God? But it sounds like with you were looking for somebody that had a relationship with God. So it's a different mindset.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So what was that like when you realized this might not be a place where I'll find my husband? You know?
Yeah. I think what was hard about like dating in the pods was like, if someone told me they believed they were a Christian, you cannot actually see the way someone lives their life in the pods. Like, you can listen to them talk, and like, so if someone told me they're a Christian, I'm like, okay, like we'll have time to explore that more. Like, but if you have the foundational belief, cool, like we can move forward on that and whatever. But I feel like until you get out into the real world, you don't really know how someone actually lives, right? And so I still, like, during my time there, I had faith that, that person could possibly be there. But I think once I got out of the pods, I got to like learn more about, and this is not saying that, because what I think is, like I said, I think some people just lack the understanding of what it actually means to call yourself a Christian. I don't think that people do it on purpose to be like, oh, I'm a Christian, because it's just probably how they grew up, right? But sure. I guess my level of the way that I like lived my life, and I just knew that the people that I was dating when we got out into the real world, it would have been a totally different, ball game, because I'm chasing after different things. And so, it was interesting.
I've had this moment when we were talking before where I was like, I could see being where I am in my journey with Christ today. If I had had the same mindset and I was invited to come on the show, I could have like truly had the mindset, oh yeah, God may be sending me here, because it's an accelerated process. There's not much opportunity to leave for falling into maybe a temptation or any, because it's so it's such an expedited process, and it is more focused on getting to know someone's heart and character. So I could have easily been like, oh yeah, I could see myself as a Christian going on Love is Blind and saying, oh, this might be the place where I could find my husband too.
Because it is one of the more like wholesome. Like if you compare it
to other
shows, it's wholesome. Like, I mean, depending on the person, like what you're talking about, but you can have some genuine, wholesome conversation in there. And so, my mindset totally was like, I didn't go looking for this. It came to me. Like, why wouldn't, But so.
Wow.